Right, well, have a lovely evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Right. Hi, everyone. Hang on a second. Got background music on. So yes, well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Well, before I go, I'll just banter for a bit. I have a beer in my hand. How is everyone? Thank you for watching that. I hope you, sorry for my clear, I don't know what I'm doing. So as a bit of history, about almost exactly 20 years ago, when I was in college, I would go to an internet cafe where me and some college friends would play Dawn of War in very small, 3 to 4 man teams. It was never anything this big and never anything serious. But holy shit, playing it again. I mean, I have played it on and off from time to time over the years, and I think we played a big game in like 2015 or something. But yeah, man, it takes me back. It's an excellent RTS. If you were watching that, I strongly recommend Dawn of War 1. Which is it? I think it's Dark Crusade, which is considered to be the best one. So, and I think its campaign was actually quite fun. This is like Total War style, take over provinces one at a time versus the AI. Yes, that was Soulstorm, but if memory serves, Soulstorm was critiqued considerably due to significant changes that they made to the way that the game works. Something to do with aircraft or something? It's been a long time, I can barely remember. But still, I mean, honestly, I've really enjoyed that evening. That was a lot of fun. How are you folks? Happy to do a little Q&A before I piss off. Thank you Speed Collector, Warra, Eisenbrot and Xavier. Yes, on the YouTube side of things, I'm working on a script for a potential Sons of the Forest video essay. So please bear with me there. I'm working through the structure of it and going through footage. Hi there, Ilsa. Yes, Lulu's fine. Today, we got in the car and we drove over to a park where she got very, very muddy. She also came back exhausted. It was a dog park, so she got to play and run around with other dogs. So yeah, she's a happy girl. Yeah, thank you, Silverlanian. It's frustrating because obviously opinions are going to differ, but God, the new 40k shit sucks. Here's the problem. I will very briefly rant about 40k, very briefly, and then I promise I'll stop. The problem is, Games Workshop follow the money, and the problem is they follow the money even in like upstream, contrary to the direction that would be good for the overall fictional setting as a whole. And to compare and contrast, think about Star Wars for a second. Think about all of the crazy different authors and creative hands that have touched Star Wars over the years, and how plasticine it is. I've talked about Star Wars a few times, describing it as this plasticine setting where anything can mean anything, where the Jedi could be in their numerous tens of thousands to, there's only just one left, where the rules of the setting change based on the author, sometimes extremely drastically. It is the end result of what happens when too many cooks are in the kitchen. You get Star Wars. Now, imagine that with 40k, but here's the problem with 40k. It is a universe that is based on rules. So many rules. I mean, literally with the case of the tabletop models, but insofar as restrictions, there is a vast amount you can't do in 40k. You cannot invent new technology in 40k. You cannot link up planets in an interstellar network that's efficient. You cannot do a centralized command and control system. Instead, you have to do feudal planets, which are all isolated and alone. You cannot spread knowledge and share wisdom, because then that's how the heretic spreads. That's how chaos spreads, essentially. More than anything, 40k is based on extreme restrictions and extreme privation. And so, yeah, trying to turn it into a plasticine universe, you very quickly undo the fabric of 40k. I will be quiet now on that front. Right. Yes, I need to touch the sign. Yeah. How am I feeling? I'm good. Awkward topic. I must admit. So this last week has been refreshing. I mention it quite a lot, but doing the bullshitteries can sometimes feel a bit repetitive. So dipping into a video essay and subsequently working on a script is a lot of it. It helps. I think it helps a lot. I was full of this creative energy this week, where I was able to sort of go through and pick up points from Sons of the Forest and start building up a script that is coming out. Well, obviously I haven't put pen to paper when it comes to writing the actual meat of the script, but insofar as, ooh, I can put that there and I could put that there, and my post-it notes are all over my wall. Yeah, it's good. It's good. How's the real... Egomania's trying to bait me into another rant about this. Well, another enthusiastic talk about the Siege of Rax from 40k. How's the real estate search going, Doosan? Not well, I'm afraid. Whoops, hang on. Bit loud. So I'm in a chain for a potential bungalow purchase, but the chain isn't moving. I'm on the tail end of the chain, so I'm just waiting because I'm renting, so I have no property to buy. So unfortunately, it just means that unless things move in front of me, nothing moves. So, yeah, you know. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not going anywhere right now. Sorry, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I was hoping to move into a small bungalow here in the south of England. A bungalow is a type of house with only one floor, a ground floor, and a little garden for Lulu to run around in. Yes. Hopefully I can, Wolfie. If not, then perhaps a maisonette, which is a type of house that's been cut in half and turned into a couple of flats. Just something small and manageable with a little garden. And I can only keep continually thanking you from the bottom of my heart, everyone. Thank you for putting me in a position to do that. So as I refer to repeatedly, I eschew sponsorship and advertising. I hate it. I fucking hate it. So it's only through your good graces that I'm in a position to possibly get a small place. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for your kindness. Just entirely crowdfunded, you see. Yeah. About a year, Captain. So it was around about this time last year that I started seriously looking. Thank you, Big Ant. Yeah, so it was this time last year that I started... Sorry, it was actually last month last year. It was in July that I think I found this bungalow. And then I've been waiting since then, so... Or rather, negotiating, then waiting. Kent, look out. Well, I'd rather not, Crush. It's difficult, because I know that I'm getting screwed by looking for a property in the south of England, but I'm feeling all the more reluctant to move away from my home. I'm the eldest of 5 brothers. I'm the last one. All others have left. One's even gone to Germany. And if I move, then, well, you know... I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It feels like everyone's leaving this place. There's no one's left in Hove anymore. Hang on. Yes, a dead scarecrow. Sorry, for those joining, I'm just bantering and answering questions from the chat, sipping this beer, before I go and rest this evening. We just played a bit of Dawn of War again, which was awesome. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing, though. I was playing as the Necrons for 2 of the 3 rounds, and I don't know how the Necrons worked. Do you think... Oh, fuck's sake. Who puts the fucking YouTube adverts in the middle of the goddamn playlist? Fuck off. There we go. Do you think I should play Sons of the Forest multiplayer before the essay? I was thinking about it, Chris Chante, but the points that I have concerning the video essay are not related to its cooperative nature. Hopefully it will make sense when you see it. This is a bit of a change from the first one, because I'm going to save it. The structure is similar, but not entirely. It's more of an analysis of one specific quirk of N. Knight's development method of storytelling that I think is interesting. In the same way that I thought the first one was, the importance of QA and why it's so important to carefully plan your project. In this case, it's something specific to do with how stories are told. Ah, dear. Yes, indeed, Ilsa. Bear with me. I will, I will hopefully make it interesting to watch. So Captain Stuff. So I'm not doing a bullshittery yet. I'm working instead on the script, and the script only, for Sons of the Forest, a follow-up video to that essay I did. I say the script only because I'm going to stop and seek permission from my crowdfunders before I continue. I'm reluctant to potentially, because this project is my choice. I need to at least ensure that my shareholders, shall we say, the people the people who determine whether or not I can eat, if they're comfortable with me continuing this project. Because if they say no, please don't, then I will alternate to a bullshittery of their choice instead. Thank you, Timmy Time. Thank you very much, Timmy. We'll see, Ilsa. We'll see. Right. I don't know, Nervous. Let me pen the script, and then I'll be able to give you some better estimates. Sorry, I'm nearly at the end of this beer. Oh no, I'm not. There's loads left. Holy shit. But yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions. I'm just sipping and bantering. Yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, I didn't do as much cooking today as I was hoping. Yeah, I want to go and oh yes, I ordered like an oyster knife, like a shucking knife, I think it's called. I tried to prepare oysters the other day and it went horribly. I was trying to open them with screwdrivers. It wasn't working. I don't know why. I don't know. I've never really tried oysters. I tried some the other day, but I bathed them in so much butter and garlic and cheese that I don't think I really tried oysters. I tried some cheese and garlic in a shell. That's what I tried. Hang on. Sorry, just listening to Jeremy Soul's Dawn of War soundtrack from the first one. Indeed, that's what I didn't do, Belf. I followed an American cooking recipe for oysters, and evidently that was probably an error. JJ says, eat them with the shells on. Oh, of course, yeah. Gonna be sitting on the toilet for about an hour. Say says, side question, you want to start YouTube and ask about the finance side. How comfortable have you been without Patreon, and how dependent on Patreon am I? Pretty much entirely, GQ. Alas, I feel like I'm a very bad GQ. I'm a really bad person to ask on that front, because insofar as YouTubers go, I kind of went crowdfunding from the beginning and just kind of quietly left a pot there for people to, if they wanted to, contribute. So I've never really interacted with the YouTube finance ecosystem in any way. I couldn't even for a moment tell you what any AdSense stuff does or how it works. I feel I've sidestepped it entirely. Yeah. So I'm just using YouTube as a hosting platform, I suppose. Sorry, I know that's probably not a very helpful answer. What's that? Voices of the Void is good. Is that the one that Tom's been playing Silver Lane in? I think I pop in from time to time. Oh, hello. I'm allowed to sending me a picture. It's probably a picture of his knob. Normal for Norfolk. Am I planning any fishing videos? Maybe. We'll see. Sorry, I know that this is a bit of a rubbish answer, but I'm a little reluctant. So I go fishing to sort of get away from the computers and get away from the electronics. That's why I started fishing, or restarted fishing, back in like 2018. I realised that I was staying indoors all the time, and I was constantly just in front of my computer screen. So I don't know. I'm as much fun as we'll see. Maybe is the answer, but I think I just need. I don't want to be sitting there fishing, thinking, "Hey, you could be recording content right now," you know. We'll see. We'll see. Also, to be fair, if I go to... So, the lake that I went to was a little unusual because most fishing lakes involve you facing the lake itself. And due to the way in which carp fishing works, there are pegs which are all facing each other. So if I was sitting there recording, it might feel a little iffy because I'm kind of recording like everyone on the lake. And if I'm sitting there babbling, your voice carries over the lake really easily. So, I don't know. Might be a bit like, oh, there's that motherfucker, that arsehole, you know? Have I ever played Kenshi? Very briefly, for about 20 minutes, Keenan. I launched the game, started it, went into a settlement, right-clicked on a cage in what turned out to be a slavery shop, and I discovered that it was a slavery shop because the owner said, "Welcome to slavery," and I was now in slavery. Or as I was enslaved. So, yes. That, thus far, has been my experience of fucking Kenshi. I ended up as a slave within the opening 10 minutes. Ah, dearie me. Yes, indeed, Coholt. So, yeah, honestly, it might just be a bit of a UK phenomenon. So what's happened is, here in the UK, we've had invasive carp forever, to the point that everyone's forgotten that they're invasive. We had them in our waters during medieval times, and apparently they were so widespread that they were a bit of a pain in the arse. And you couldn't actually fish for them because we didn't have any synthetic fishing line that was capable of resisting the power of a carp. Anyway, that changed with the invention of nylon extrusion, so the ability to create fishing lines made out of mono fishing lines, so nylon. So, you could then fish for carp, and then people quite quickly discovered that fishing for carp was quite enjoyable because it's a very large, heavy, bony fish that fights like a motherfucker. Carp do not have opposable thumbs, but if they did, they'd try and shank you with a shiv that they made out of a piece of shell at the bottom of the lake. Anyway, point is, people started digging big lakes, filling them full of carp, and then a recreational fishing business sprung up in the UK and has absolutely boomed. It's worth God knows how many millions. So, all of the people who own their own private lakes full of carp are all having a dick-waving competition saying, oh, my carp's the largest, my carp's the largest, and therefore you cannot kill them. In fact, the opposite. When you arrive, you have to have certain pieces of equipment, and they check you as you arrive. They legitimately check you to make sure you've got them. Equipment, for example, hammocks, essentially, like waterproof hammocks, where you lay the fish down on its side so it's not putting the full weight of its body on the ground where it could cut itself or wipe off the anti-parasitical layer of slime on its scales. You're also required to use barbless hooks to make sure you don't hurt its lip, and also have antiseptic cream that you can rub into the wound. And the reason for all of this, as weird as this sounds, in most places of the world where you simply catch a fish and kill it and eat it, the purpose is clear. These carp can live for 20 years, and I encourage you now, if you have Google in front of you, Google image 20-year-old carp. And you will very quickly understand why carp fishing is a multi-million recreational industry in the UK. Thank you, TW Moto. Maybe, maybe not, Captain Diabetes. But the venues require that you have it. And if you don't have it, you're not fishing. Again, it depends on the venue. But pretty much everyone I've been to so far is very strict. The water bailiff will come around and check. And if you don't have it, you're off the lake. Yep, this is no trout you're fishing for. This is no salmon. Of course, it's not sea fishing. It's a bit more comfortable than that, of course, but, you know. So, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, if I had to critique the carp fishing thing, it does feel a bit like there's so many little gadgets and baubles and electrical devices that I followed the advice, just like the oyster thing. Buy this, buy that. But eventually it just felt like so I bought these big carp fishing rods that would sit on these electrical buzzers that would detect sensitivity. When the line moves, it beeps. But I realised about 45 minutes into fishing one session that I was like, is this really fishing? I'm just setting up a line and sitting staring at it. Or reading a book. So I greatly prefer float fishing, where I'm actually casting out and looking at a float, you know? Yeah, bite alarm, schizophrenic guy says. Yeah. Yes, water bailiffs. They have to go through cop school for the diploma. Did I ever try fly fishing? No, I haven't, Shift. I haven't given it a go. I don't really have the equipment, I'm afraid. I don't have a fly fishing reel or anything, really. I'm sure there are fly fishing venues, but haven't really looked into it. I couldn't tell you anything. Indeed, Manic. I'm on the coast, but I don't have a boat. Nor do I really, again, know anything about sea fishing. Can you find places to fish for fish to eat in the UK? Absolutely, George. In the same way that you have people making carp fishing lakes, I know that further west of here, there's a trout fishing lake. Weirdly, it's the total opposite. You're not allowed to catch and release. You have to kill what you catch and, you know, that's it. You got to kill it and take it. Yes, get a houseboat. Stream from a houseboat, yeah. Sorry, someone has cut the line. Or the boat has drifted away, the stream dies. Oh yeah, Santa? You say that, Santa. I think I do actually have some flounder in my freezer. I once again got a loot box, but for fish fillets. Essentially, it's like not frozen. It's a chilled box of whatever the fishing boats bring in, and you can order it online. And I have done that a couple of times. I've got some fillets in my freezer. So yeah, I'm trying to do that because I'm trying to kick red meat. My doctor tells me that my blood pressure is really high. So in 2016, I started becoming a full-time YouTuber. My diet was trash, and I'm constantly stressed out about making the next bullshittery. So of course, the doctor calls me and says, "You realise you're in the highest percentile of people of blood pressure readings in the clinic." I'm like, "Oh, you don't say." So anyway, so I'm trying to kick red meat, salt, alcohol. He says, drinking this beer. Cheers. Ah, dear. Yes, indeed. Vegetarian as well. Your account is locked. Cyanide and his super hot girlfriend Maya were kind enough to buy me an air fryer, and I've been using the air fryer to make potato chips. So I slice up chips into slice up a potato and put it into a bowl, and then mix in a bit of olive oil, a little bit, paprika, and a bit of pepper, and then I sort of lay them on the air fryer and make chips. And somehow, I always fuck it up. I always somehow manage to leave, like, the bottom shelf not properly cooked. Damn it, you motherfuckers, I fancy some chips now. Ah, dear. Am I looking forward to any new RimWorld stuff? I haven't really looked into it, Derpenstinez. I've been fucking neck deep in a playthrough that isn't finished yet. My existing colonists on the escape ship have yet to activate it. Irisher, my doctor tells me I have very high blood pressure. Parboil the potatoes, says Sputnik. Yeah, I could do that. Not a bad idea. Sputnik is referring to the process of dipping, for a couple of minutes, quickly doing a quick flash boil of potatoes. Parboil. I don't know, Defaulty. I don't know, sorry. I don't really know anything about Dwarf Fortress, and I'm sucked into RimWorld heavily. Do I have a favourite colour? Nah, not really. Not really bothered about that sort of thing. Much to the chagrin of my mother, who's constantly distressed at the state of my flat. But here's the thing, and I apologise if you ever hear this, Mother. I think my mother comes from a generation that is unfamiliar with the concept of renting. I don't know if, when she was younger, my mother ever rented, but I do know that she, for the longest time, she's had furnishings that she could subsequently change. The other day, she bought me some toilet cleaner and recommended that I leave it down the toilet and then subsequently get in there and with a brush and start scrubbing to get off like the lime scale or whatever it is. And I don't wish to be rude in any way, but I can't say I'm in a rush to scrub my landlord's toilet. Any games I consider to be a guilty pleasure, says Rising Ray. Yes, indeed. Fallout Tactics. It's a non-canon Fallout game that was made after Fallout 2 and before the failure of Fallout 3. So it went Fallout 1, 2, and then Tactics. It is a completely non-canon entry, not merely because it went into a sort of action RTS mode where the combat could be not turn-based, but also because they subsequently abandoned the 1950s futuristic post-apocalypse feel and let you have M16s and Humvees and shit. It is thoroughly not canon. It is thoroughly weird. Its plot goes completely off the rails and abandons the vault system idea entirely, as in the vaults were a trick. And I fucking love it. It's awesome. You play as a tribal who's recruited into the Brotherhood of Steel, an offshoot of the Brotherhood of Steel who aren't actually evil, and you subsequently rise up the ranks to become a general, battling your way through the I don't know where you are. I think you're in the middle of America. To eventually defeat an army of robots that are coming out of Vault Zero, the nexus of the Vault system, where, it was like an idea to purge the wastelands of all the unclean. You recognize it, Doug? Yes, we just finished a game of Dawn of War. Good fun. Sorry, yes, Grumpy, I meant, sorry, did I fuck my words up? I meant the failure of Fallout 3 as in Van Buren? So, Interplay were working on Fallout 3, and then so while Fallout Tactics was released, Interplay was still working on Fallout 3, and then they went under or something. And then the rights eventually were bought by Bethesda, who made their own Fallout 3. Sorry, I should have clarified. Yeah. 40k always seems so interesting but daunting with its scale. That's the attraction of 40k, B. Joseph. Because 40k is one of the few settings that really acknowledges how impossibly large the galaxy is as a whole, you realize that any major event that happens, let's say, for example, a major chaos incursion in Segmentum, I don't know, fucking, what's the name of the Segmentum where fucking Eisenhorn is running around? So, like, some big alien incursion happens, some big thing in your story, the status quo is subsequently unaffected. No, he's not in Solar. What is he in? Obscurus? Is that the one he's in? Anyway, the point is, because the setting is so massive, you can do a lot of things in your story, and subsequently the status quo of the world is unaffected. Meaning that, if we're going with the old law, that you can have the most fucking balls-to-the-wall incredible situation, but for the Imperium, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's awesome. And if you're looking to read some of this 40k stuff, I do recommend, the Eisenhorn trilogy. It's it tells the story of a gentleman called Eisenhorn, who is an inquisitor, and it's simply his attempt to bring heretics to justice. He's like going through a particular planetary system and like a sector, I suppose. And he's constantly trying to bring heretics to justice. But the problem is, he's constantly having to bend the law, bend the rules. For example, he has someone in his retinue. So a retinue is an inquisitor in the world of 40k is someone who can go beyond the normal restrictions that would affect most organizations in the Imperium to chase down suspects who might be heretics, for example, or in league with the alien. And so they have a retinue of people that follow them. Special people. People who have abilities that most lack. Not simply good fighters, yes, but extremely rare abilities. You might find yourself drafted into the retinue of an Inquisitor. One of them was a warrior woman, an incredibly skilled swordswoman. And she was from a long line, an extremely long line of people that got to wield this sword. And she was killed in battle. And Eisenhorn, as with their tradition, was meant to return the sword to the planet where she came from, and the house that she came from, in order to have it handed down to the next person. But he didn't. This is a very minor thing in the context of Eisenhorn, of course. Instead, he kept it as his own personal sword. Why? Because he might need it. He's constantly going through this situation where, yes, he's got like a really shitty decision he has to make. Like, he has to kill a shit ton of people to possibly expose the heretic that he's hunting. It's interesting. And like over the course of the story, you hear him constantly become more and more extreme. Indeed, a demon host as well, yeah. You're fighting the demons, but what happens if you absolutely need information? Well, you can chain it to somebody. Is that somebody willing to be possessed by a demon? No. Do they get a choice? No. Yes, Psychers, George. That's one of them. Sorry, just babbling about 40... I'm doing it again. Babbling about 40k lore, but in a positive way. In the Sorry, spoiler warning for Eisenhorn, the trilogy of it. I realise I've just said that people should... I'll tell you to close your ears when I get to the spoiler. Don't worry. During the Eisenhorn book, an Inquisitor needs to get around. They need to get from point to point, of course. They do often have their own personal transport, but here's the thing. If you're going to go from planet to planet, you need to enter the warp. To enter the warp, so to enter the interdimensional fast travel system, you're going to need a very large ship. For an Inquisitor, that's not normally a problem. They can simply display their credentials in the form of an extremely hard to acquire and hard to forge rosette, like it's an item that they possess with the inquisitorial mark on it and all the necessary identification that proves you are an Inquisitor. You present that to a captain of, say, a merchant ship, and that merchant ship has no choice. So, one day, Eisenhorn presented this rosette to a badge of office. He presented the rosette to a merchant who was known for being very flamboyant. In my head, I choose to believe that if a live-action Eisenhorn thing was ever made, it would be played by Stephen Fry. But a very flamboyant, very overly dressed nobleman who had his own merchant ship. But what was so cool about it is that... I can't remember. What was his name? Fuck, what was his name? The name of the merchant. Was it Tobias something? Yes, a rogue trader, they're called. Like a merchant that can go wherever. Tobias. Was his name Tobias? Sorry, I'm just need to look it up. I'm curious. Hang on. Tobias Maximilian. Was that it? Tobias Maximilian. Rogue trader. Tobias Maxilla. That was it. And so Tobias was a rogue trader who had spent many, many decades plying the stars for trade. And when Eisenhorn presented his rosette to take over his ship, to Eisenhorn's surprise, he wasn't actually resistant to the idea. Instead, it turns out that this poor rogue trader had been so lonely over the years that he had essentially, in order to live longer, he had exchanged pieces of his body for machine parts, which isn't that unusual in 40k. People do that. If you have the money and you have the connections, you can stave off death with artificial limbs, artificial organs, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, he had done this for so long that he was more or less restricted into his own ship. He couldn't easily move around. He was as much a part of the ship as the ship was. So, it turns out that Tobias thoroughly enjoyed the Inquisitor's company, and more importantly, he enjoyed the company of the retinue that Eisenhorn brought with him. And as the book continues, it becomes like his center of operations, this rogue trader ship. Yeah, more machine than man was Tobias. But in that ship, Eisenhorn had his headquarters, and full of, apparently Tobias would buy opulent gifts for the pretty ladies that were in Eisenhorn's company, of which there were many, with their own talents, of course. They weren't there to be totty. They too were warriors and computer experts and all that jazz. But yeah, there's this wonderful sort of, I suppose, building friendship in the Eisenhorn novels where the two of them save each other's arse so frequently that very quickly they become very fast friends. And you realise that Tobias, he lived the life that he always wanted, a swashbuckling life of adventure with a fucking Inquisitor. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. Sorry, I'm talking about I'm not going to get to the spoiler, actually. I'm going to stop before I spoil it. But I'm just talking about the Eisenhorn trilogy. Where's Space Marines? From time to time, Space Marines do turn up in the story, but infrequently. It deals with the adventures of an Inquisitor. In fact, at one point, a time when Space Marines did turn up in the story, they were actually rather nervous about. They were nervous about Eisenhorn, this famed Inquisitor. Why? because they were telling rumours about him because apparently Eisenhorn had killed a space marine. A Chaos Space Marine. 1-on-1. And the Space Marines couldn't believe it. They were like, it's bullshit. It's fucking... a mortal taking out a fucking Astarte? How is that even possible? And it turns out it's true. Eisenhorn did take out a Space Marine. How? Well, it turns out he had like an extremely powerful Chaos book with him at the time. And so obsessed was this Space Marine with getting this book that in the middle of the battle, when drawing swords, he had that same sword. You know, that really rare sword that could cut through anything? Just before the Space Marine jumped him, Eisenhorn pulled out this book and he threw it onto a random page on the floor. And so, because this was a devotee of Slanesh, so the Prince of Pleasure, this Space Marine could not help but be absorbed. He basically got distracted for long enough looking at the book that Eisenhorn sliced the fucker's head off. It's the whole vampire thing, you know, throw down coins on the ground, and they're so distracted they've got to count the coins. He threw an item on the ground that the Chaos Space Marine could not resist. So just in that moment, Eisenhorn got in there and just sliced the guy's head off in an instant. Yeah. It's older lore, Sidecore, to do with vampires. As in, if you throw lots of little things on the ground, they have to stop and count them. So throw coins if you're fighting a vampire. But yeah. Indeed, I really enjoyed it, Ben and Bio. Ah, dear. Oh, really? Is it specifically Chinese vampires, Valiant? Ah. With grains of rice. Oh, really? Is that where it's from, originally? Any thoughts on playing Vampire the Masquerades? This is gonna sound really weird. I have seen quite a lot of Vampire the Masquerades, but only because I once dated a goth. And she loved it, and she played it regularly. I don't know. I'm not so willing to... I don't know. Maybe keep that chapter closed. I don't want to... I just enjoyed some happy memories with Dawn of War. Maybe keep the bad memories closed. Yeah. Have I seen Dune 2? No, not really. I'm not really much of a film goer, I'm afraid. I did see the first one. I liked it. Yeah, Lulu's fine. She's happy. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's a good girl indeed. Goth as in the one who sacked Rome? Yes. The exact one, yes. Yeah, it's quite specifically that one. Oh dear. Sorry, this is a very dumb question about Dune 2. Is there going to be is that the end of the is that the end of it, or is there going to be a Dune 3? Did it end? Oh, sorry, pardon me. Did it end on a cliffhanger? No, it's a trilogy. Is it a trilogy? Third one is expected. A bit of a cliffhanger. Okay. I must admit, I'm not overly familiar with Dune. Or June, I suppose. Yeah, she's okay, Dents. So, sorry, for those unfamiliar, that's Lulu. She is a nearly 8-year-old French bulldog. She is a little bit shy. We went to a dog park this morning, and she stayed away from the bigger dogs. She preferred the attention of the people. So she likes cuddles on your lap. She's extremely cuddly. Yeah. But yeah, she's very happy. She's very happy indeed. Okay. Any Sunday stream plans now that Ron is over? Well, I'm sure we'll give it another go. You don't just play through the levels once. You play through them again based on which ones you want to play. Same with the first game. Ah, dear. Hi there, Vea Nima. Hi there, Vea Nima. You got into Armour and DayZ? Ah. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoy it, Vea Mina. Sorry, Vea Nima. Yeah, Armour's awesome. Take care, Chinny. Thank you for the games this evening. Thank you very much. Yeah. G-Mem says, you curse me for getting you into RimWorld. Well, I hope you enjoy RimWorld. Spartan says, have I ever played the... Sorry, my voice is going. Sorry, bloody adverts. There we go. No, but I think Digi was trying to get me to play it, Spartan Echo. What are my thoughts on my brother shaving his head and becoming an egg? Has he? What the fuck? Is he streaming now? Hang on, we just open Twitch. Has he shaved his head? He's wearing a cap, I can't tell. I've got his stream open. Well, to be fair, I mean, we both had very short hair growing up. Yeah, he's got a cap on. Well, I don't want to make him self-conscious about it. Maybe that's why he's got a cap on. Oh. He's completely shaven? Well, I must admit, so I would struggle to do that. So, a question for anyone in the chat. Does anyone else suffer from something called, rather disgustingly, sebaceous cysts? Does anyone else have those? Warlord says yeah. Black Hole says yes. Yeah, so basically, for those unfamiliar with it, sometimes your hair follicles, what the fuck? Sometimes they will form little lumps of keratin beneath the surface of your skin, and as the hair grows, subsequently so do the size of these little lumps, and they don't hurt or anything, but they are a little annoying if you're getting your head shaved in any way, because obviously it bumps into the lumps. So I've had quite a few of them over the years, and they're most annoying. They're right at the top of my scalp, and I actually had one extracted surgically because it got annoyingly big. It had been growing my entire life, and it was about, I reckon it's probably about the size of a 2p piece, really. And thank you for the raid, Dinklebean. Thank you for the game this evening. Anyway, so I went and I had it surgically removed by the NHS, and it was extremely easy and simple, and they just did it. It was just a walk-in thing, and they just put a little bit of anaesthetic on the area, removed it, easy, done. Anyway, so a while later, I was having a feel around. By a while, I mean like 2 years later, and I realised that it was gradually growing back. And what I realised is that it was actually, at the time, it was two separate small cysts, and the other one was growing in the place where the last one was. Anyway, so I will try to not be disgusting for people who are eating, but I got a bit silly, and I took a needle one day, and I had a quick poke. Anyway, so nothing really bad happened, but over time I noticed that it was really hurting. I'd clearly failed to properly sterilise the needle. Anyway, so it was going down, though, so I thought, great, okay, it's going down. I don't know why it's going down, but it's going down. I must have somehow drained it. Anyway, one day, I was having a scratch on the top of my head, and I felt this, like, strange texture, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought it's probably like a scab or something, and it wasn't moving. So I took a pair of tweezers, and I sort of, like, started poking at what this strange texture was, and I gave it a pull, and there was the weirdest feeling. The only way I could describe it was if someone had put a balloon on top of your head. You know, when they rub a balloon, it makes static. Like that. And so, probably against my better judgment, I started pulling, and as I was doing it, I could feel this sort of, like, bubbles going at the top of my head. And it was followed by the most exquisite pleasure. Like, this sounds weird, saying this out loud, but it was the most weird, lovely sensation Like the removal of pressure. And so I pulled, and all of a sudden there was this sound like this pop sound, like boop, like that. And I looked down at the tweezer, and I had basically removed the sac of the cyst. The whole thing. I drained it earlier, and it was just the sac that was left, leaving this perfectly circular hole at the top of my head. It was only about the size, it was only a few millimeters, it was nothing major. But my God, it was like the feeling of afterwards. It was like having something stuck in your teeth for years. And then it just healed up in like 2 days, and that was it. Forever gone. Sorry, I know that sounded, that's probably grim for people who might be eating. But I accidentally removed a cyst from the top of my scalp. No, it's perfectly clean, Serian. It was just like a weird lump. So yeah, I accidentally, shrunk it to the point that it was removable. Shall I talk about something else? Sorry, I'll talk about something else. Dinkle wants to take his raid back. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, what else is happening? So working on the script for this potential video essay. Hope it goes well. Really enjoyed Dawn of War a minute ago. Super nostalgic. The dog's good. She's a bit muddy. She got covered in mud. I had the good sense to take some Wellington boots with me when I went to the dog park. And, they're covered in about 1 inch of mud. Dried on now. Yeah. Thank you, Babane. Thank you very much, Babane. Oh, what's that? Was that Babane? Thank you, Soulman and Babane and Sea Beetle. Thank you, all of you. No carps? I'll go carp fishing soon, DK Sith. I look forward to it. Yeah. Right, I'll bog off momentarily. Any more questions before I go? Thank you, Agent B. Smith. Looking at my brother. He's just got smacked into orbit by a Skyrim giant. Yeah, I'm doing good, account is locked. So I've spent the first week of work on the video essay script, and I think it's going well. Did I ever successfully bake bread? Not yet, Matt. Despite me enjoying cooking, all I can seem to produce are bricks of unrisen fucking bread. It's not even bread, really. I will later. She's sleeping right now. But yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know, Mathilde. For some reason, the bread just never rises properly. Don't know why. But yeah. Have I ever read the Lord of the Rings series? No, I haven't, I'm afraid. No. Never really sat down and did it. Thank you, Ready to Feed. Thank you very much, Ready to Feed. Any cringe tattoos? No, I have no tattoos. Honestly, there's no... I can't really think of any symbol or emblem or any sort of picture that I would feel comfortable enough to have etched on my skin for the rest of my life. There's no... There's nothing that I can think of that would be appropriate. Lulu's paw print? No. Outer Wilds, the Outer Wild symbol, like Ducky. I did actually have this conversation with Ducky the other day. He has the tattoo, so Duckslayer. I was thinking of perhaps getting it stenciled, so if I can get a new place, I might have it like have it as like a tasteful stencil on a wall somewhere, like in the living room or something, just in the corner of the room, just poking through the eye of the universe or something. Just as a little touch to the decor. Maybe. We'll see. Metro Exodus. I don't know, Crundug. I think I did play a Metro game extremely briefly, but I didn't get into it at the time. But yeah. Thank you, Dens. Yeah, well, hopefully. Fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed. Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, sorry. On that note, sorry, as Den's Gaming points out, yes, if you're interested in Dawn of War, I very, very strongly recommend. Not Dawn of War 2 or 3, I'm afraid. I would recommend avoiding those. Well, here's the rub. The problem is Dawn of War 1, 2, and 3 are so extremely different from each other that they're not all Dawn of War. I think what is true Dawn of War will depend on which game you started on. Essentially, there's, yeah... They're three different genres entirely. So I would personally recommend the first Dawn of War. Probably start at Dark Crusade, which is that's the first Dawn of War. That's Winter Assault, which is the expansion pack with it, and then I think the third one is Dark Crusade. You can probably skip Soulstorm. It's up to you. But yes. RTS, MOBA, and I think... Sorry, the first one was an RTS. The second one was a real-time tactical game. So, much like hero units and very small... Like, what? Sorry, didn't Dawn of War 2 have a fucking tower defense thing? Hi there, Tom. Hope you're well. You need a good game to play. Tom needs a good game to play. You could try Outer Wilds. Be screaming your head off. Sick says, what, is that sick as in, yeah, rad, or sick as in you're sick? Actually, no, for real, Tom, if you do play Outer Wilds, it is awesome. It's one of these, well, you've just been playing that mystery game, so you'll get it. Oh no, you played it. I wish I got to remove my memories to replay. Same. Yeah, goddamn, it's good. Yeah. So, Tom, I just played a big multiplayer session of Dawn of War. I got my ass kicked. Oh, fuck. Yeah. It's fun, though. It's fun. I didn't win a single game, did I? Fuck, no. I lost all of them. No, wait, sorry. Did I? No, fucking who won the... No, I lost, didn't I? I got fucking... zerged on the second game. Yeah. Hi there, DCE Buck. I'm just sipping a beer and answering some questions, well, just some Q&A from the chat, before I bog off. Yeah. Sorry, keep sipping beer. It's going warm on me. Fuck, sorry. Just got splashed in my eye. What the fuck? Hang on. I put the glass down aggressively. And the fucking beer sloshed in my fucking eye. Hang on. Blah, blah. Ah, dearie me. Ryboat says, I tried Outer Wilds, but I have a fear of deep water, and the first world you arrived on was covered in water and tornadoes. It was my nightmare. I left immediately and flew into an asteroid. Yeah, but you got to push through that. You'll be fine. How's the D&D animation nervous? Oh god, don't even ask. For those unfamiliar, I was trying to make a 25-minute animation for Dungeons and Dragons for a D&D bullshittery that I fucking made in fucking 2016. Unfortunately, I woefully underestimated the actual effort it would take, and also it fell victim to my fear that if I... Basically, long story short, if I'm going to finish it, I need to do exactly what I did with the forest. I need to disappear for about 6 to 8 months. Like, I don't know if it's going to take that long, but it would be like that. It would be... I just have to knuckle down and do it and just get it done. And then kick it out the door. What I was doing previously was a week here, a week there, but it's quite obvious to me that the amount of work that it would take... Yeah, I need to forest and that shit, basically. And I think I could do it, but at the same time, I don't think I'm in a position where... after the forest... Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll tell you what, keep mentioning it, and I will keep, obviously increasing the chances that I will dedicate that time and convince the crowdfunders that it's worth it. Okay. Sorry, tell the nerd sheep for a few Dawn of War games. Oh, really? Is he a Dawn of War nerd? Well, I used to play lots too, but that was literally 20 years ago. I'm calling upon 2004 fucking experience in Dawn of War, so, you know. Oh, fuck. Right. If you'll forgive me, everyone, thank you for your company tonight. It's been wonderful. Thank you for being here. But I do think I need to wind down. It's 11 in the evening. I fancy a sandwich or something, and I'm going to go cuddle the dog and, yeah, maybe do a bit more reviewing of footage for Sons of the Forest. But thank you, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. What's going on tomorrow? Are we doing Ready or Not tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see what we're doing tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you again. Right, hang on. Let me have a look and see what my friends and clanmates are doing. Is anyone doing anything interesting you might want to watch? Quebec's in armor for some reason. Why the fuck is Quebec in armor? Hang on. What's this about? Oh, what the fuck? So Quebec is actually in fucking... He's actually in Vietnam again. Okay. Let me leave you in the company of ZF Quebec, who is doing Prairie Fire again. So he's back in Vietnam. Must have inspired him. I don't know. No, it looks like he's playing with the group, so yeah. Right. I'll see what... Yeah, so have a look and see what his group is doing. Thank you again, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Thank you, Ready to Feed, and hope to see you again soon. This is ZF Quebec.